Hello my friends and welcome back to Slay the Spire 2. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Defect, the last of the characters available currently in STS2. This is also a character from the previous game, but it's the one that I have the least experience with, so I'll be kind of learning as we go. The Defect is a robot who channels these powerful orbs that both have a passive effect every turn, and also can be activated in order to consume them and increase their effect, either when they spill off the end of the track, which you'll see in a second, or by cards that activate them. We're jumping in on Ascension 3, because that's where I happen to be at with the Defect here, so let's see what we've got for our initial reward. So we could get Greed, this is a curse, but 300 gold. The Act 1 boss drops 2 relics, always a nice passive buff, or choose one of 2 colorless cards to add to your deck. I'm actually really pretty unhappy with these Neow buffs because none of them are the ones that really give you a direction for your deck in the beginning, which is what I usually like to see. Let's go with the lead paperweight, and hopefully we just get something that's reasonably efficient as a colorless card. Alright, we'll take the Thinking Ahead here. Fisticuffs is also not bad. 7 attack and 7 block for 1 is pretty good in the early game and could help us take some more difficult fights. Thinking Ahead will be better in the late game, but actually, I have found that the Defect mostly struggles in the early game, so I'm going to take Fisticuffs, and that should help us take some harder fights, maybe take a couple extra elite fights in Act 1, and then we can get stronger through scaling that. This card will fall off later, but that makes sense to me. Alright, let's take a look at our path here. So we can get Fight, Event Shop, Elite this way. We could do an Elite, a Chest, Shop, Elite. So we could get 4 Elites if I go to the left here. That's a pretty ambitious path, but, you know, I'm not a weenie, so let's go ahead and do it. I'll decide if I want to take the right-hand track after this fight and do the shop, or if I want to take an event instead. Alright, so we're fighting the Fuzzy Worm Crawler, and you can see that at the beginning of the fight, we channel this Lightning, which is going to do 3 damage at the end of each of our turns. Or if we evoke it, which we could do twice with dual cast, it'll do 8 damage. So that's a pretty powerful tool. I'm going to go ahead and play Defend, and I think I'll leave my Lightning Orb here, because I want the passive damage over time. So even though the dual cast is a lot of burst damage right away, this fight I think will go a little bit longer, so I'm just going to keep my orb. Then we'll channel another Lightning, so we're adding another Lightning into our track here. We'll play Fisticuffs and Strike. Do 6 damage there, and then here I'm going to take 1 damage unless I can kill the enemy. This turn, so that's 12, and then 9 is just short. Someone do the math and let me know if I'd have won if I had played dual cast without taking this hit. Because if I had then, if I was going to avoid taking 1 damage if I had played dual cast, then that's important information to know as I'm learning the character. Alright, so our first reward here, we've got Skim, just draw 3 cards. Drawing cards is always good in a card game, so Skim is a pretty powerful skill here. Sweeping Beam, also pretty good, especially in the early game. Again, AoE damage is nice, so this will help us cycle through our deck. But I think we'll just go for FTL. This is a 0-cost card, 5 damage, and it will almost always draw a card unless we draw it later in a turn cycle. So it's just going to be a little bit of extra damage. Are we getting another shop? Yeah, we have the option to take up to 2 more shops in this run, so I think I'm going to go to the left here, and we'll take the event and the extra fight rather than the shop before fighting the elite. And then this turn, I'm going to... Alright, let's try dual casting here, so this is going to do 8 damage twice. And then this enemy now only has 3 health, because we happen to hit it with our dual cast, so we can kill it with FTL. Then we can draw into a Strike. We can play Fisticuffs for 7. Oh, and I'm short of being able to play the Zap there, so it's possible I'm supposed to play Zap. That might have ended up being more damage overall. I'll just do triple Defend here, because it's attacking for 11. And then it's attacking me for 10, so we'll do Block, Block, Zap. I think I probably need to clean up my early fights a little bit here. But we were able to kill the enemy, and we only have taken 2 damage so far, so even though maybe I could have 60 health, it's not a big deal. Let's take a look at our cards. So I like Go for the Eyes a lot. Being able to apply weakness definitely can help us avoid dying. Deal 13 damage, draw a card. When a status card is created, reduce this card's cost to 0 this turn. So the Defect has a junking up your own deck with status cards sub-theme. So you can play cards like Gunk Up, which is a pretty efficient card, but adds a slime to your deck. And then there are other cards like Rocket Punch that synergize with having cards that create statuses. I'm going to go with Go for the Eyes, though. I really like zero-cost attacks, and zero-cost attacks are also a sub-theme of this character. So basically anything that's free is always going to be good. We'll go ahead and play our offensive cards. The Shrinker Beetle is actually pretty nice to fight with the Defect because your attacks are reduced in damage, but our orbs are not. So when I dual cast here and then just pass the turn, our orbs will just kill it, and we ignore that. Okay, so Hyper Beam. This is a huge AoE attack that ruins my orbs for the rest of the fight. So this is, again, kind of an early game tempo card. I can take it, and it'll be really good in some elite fights that we could take. Let's do that again. I think that I'm just going to try to get maximum greedy with my elite fights. Oh, I actually have not seen this enemy before, the Fogmog. So it intends to summon monsters, 74 health on this mushroom guy. That is a lot of health for an early game fight. But we can do a bunch of damage to it, and it's going to summon an eye with teeth. Okay, well, I'm not a fan of an eye with teeth, but we can kill it before it does any of whatever cards it's going to do. And it is going to come back at the end of its turn. I don't want to Hyper Beam yet, because I don't want to remove my focus, because that will decrease the effectiveness of our orbs by 3. And that'll make them obviously a lot weaker. We'll FTL the Fogmog here. We'll Go for the Eyes, the Fogmog. This is a very difficult enemy for this stage of the game. And we'll keep chipping away at the eye with teeth. Then I'm going to take 1 here, and then we can Hyper Beam to end this fight. So I'm pretty glad I brought the Hyper Beam, because it really made that fight a lot cleaner, and I think it's going to make a lot of other future fights a lot cleaner as well. Lightning Rod is one of my favorite cards for this character. The additional block, and then every subsequent turn you channel lightning for free for the next 2 turns. So you're going to just get a bunch of damage over time out of this, while also getting an upfront block. Focused Strike is pretty good, but we don't really need more kind of tempo-y damage cards. We have plenty, I think, to get us through Act 1. So let's take the Lightning Rod, which will be more of a kind of long-term investment. This is definitely the hardest elite for us, because it's just a pure damage race. So let's start by drawing a card. And then I will go Lightning Rod, so that'll help channel these lightnings. And then I could weaken it, and that would prevent 2 damage, but I'm not that worried about the 2 damage. So I think we'll just accept 2 damage fighting this elite. The Fisticuffs is kind of proving its worth here. I think this turn I will hit it with the weakness, so I can just go Fisticuffs, and then we take 0 damage, and then I can go Zap and Strike, and just get a little bit more damage on the Birdonis this turn without taking a hit. Although maybe I was supposed to save my vulnerable cast for when we're playing the Hyper Beam. But if I play Go for the Eyes, it's now down to 13. I can dual cast here, putting it down to 16, and then unfortunately, if I Hyper Beam, we'll put it down to 3, but we'll lose 3 focus. So the 2 lightnings will not then kill it. So I think I will block for 1 more turn. Take 3 damage here, and we should be able to win on this turn. With FTL, Strike, Strike, and Zap. And then our orbs will kill it. So a pretty clean fight. I think we took 6 damage in that fight, or 5 damage it looks like. So, honestly, pretty happy with a Birdonis fight for 5 damage. That's why I took all of these early game tempo cards, and they will make our deck, we'll have to, like, clean up our deck a little later on, but it just gets you through Act 1 so much smoother if you take a couple powerful attacks in the early game. The max HP from the Mango, not my favorite card, honestly, but it's fine. And then here, Momentum Strike I could take, Claw I could take. If you get a bunch of these, they could be pretty good, but this is a pretty niche strategy, and I tend to think this is kind of a joke deck. Though, obviously, I'm not incredibly familiar with the Defect, so maybe there are some ways to build into Claw that make sense. Hologram is pretty solid, though. This is gain 3 block and draw a card with a limited card selection, so it'll be from our discard pile, so we can recycle some pretty powerful cards. So I'll add Hologram to the deck here. Let's roll off to the campsite, and we'll smith, and that is, we will smith, not Will Smith. So I could forge the lightning rod to gain additional block on it, plus 3 block on an upgrade is a pretty good value upgrade. Hyper Beam could go up to 34 damage. I could upgrade Fisticuffs, and then it's 9 attack and 9 block, which makes it very efficient. But I think what I'm going to do is just take Zap here. You're going to cast this card every time you draw it. It's a non-exhausting card that you can remove a cost from. So this is just going to save us 1 energy every single cycle through the deck, and is going to be a really efficient upgrade. We haven't done any events yet, because we had a fight in our event room so far. So let's go ahead and check this event. I could get Clumsy for a random relic. This is an ethereal curse that's not bad. We don't really need the 41 gold, so I think I will take the curse, and we'll just get a random relic. Not a great relic here, but the more relics we get in the early game, the happier I am, because we'll be able to get at least some relevant ones. When we're taking 4 elite fights, stacking even more relics means we're very likely to get good ones. This is a fight where the Hyper Beam that we have is going to be amazing, because it should one-shot all the little froglings that come out of the parasite once we kill the parasite. Let's go FTL to draw a card. Actually, I should have thought about whether I should have played Vulnerable first, because I do want to use the potion here. So, obviously, I gave up a little bit of damage by doing that. By not playing my Vulnerable potion before I attacked this enemy. Okay, so we did miss on the shuffle against the Frog Parasite for getting Hyper Beam in our deck. I want, ideally, to be able to play Hyper Beam the turn that we kill the frog, or the turn after. So we're going to accept taking kind of a reasonable hit here, and then I should be able to kill this enemy this turn. We'll go Zap. So I can't quite... I don't have the energy to strike this enemy, because what I'm hoping to do, what I was considering, is if I strike it, that kills it, all the little froglings spawn. I could then hologram Hyper Beam back to my hand, but unfortunately I wouldn't have the energy to play it this turn. So let's just play Zap and Lightning Rod. I will strike the Frog Parasite. And then we have a chance of drawing into Hyper Beam this turn. If we don't, that's okay. But I don't want to let it put more infections into my deck, so I'll just go ahead and strike that enemy here. And basically, we're just stalling until we draw Hyper Beam here, which we did. And so this is the elite that I was thinking of when I took this card. One-shot those 4 enemies, and we got a pretty clean Frog Parasite fight. And that is, I think, the more dangerous, like in the top 2, at least, of the most dangerous Act 1 elites. We have a lot of healing. We got Mango, Meal Ticket, and Pantograph as our first 3 relics. Pretty unlucky, honestly. I would much rather relics that actually give us an active advantage. Leap is not bad. I don't mind having just a better block card in the deck, but we do have our Fisticuffs as a 7 block card, so let's just take another FTL. We can use it to cycle through the deck a bit. Alright, the game crashed. It's in early access, but we're back. And we were just clicking on this chest to open it. We got a Joth paper out of it. Every 5 times you exhaust a card, draw 1 card. Again, we're getting pretty bad relics, honestly. We don't have a lot of cards that exhaust currently. In fact, I guess we've got the Clumsy that'll exhaust itself, but I kind of intend to just remove it from the deck at this shop. Although maybe I'm better off just removing a strike anyways, because Clumsy is ethereal. So let's look at the possible options here. I could take Orrery, but we have a large deck already. We don't really need to increase the size, because it's mostly how you use it. We could take Vambrace. This is a very nice artifact. Just extra block on the first turn is so valuable. It can often prevent a big hit while you're setting up your powers or whatever. Or Potion Belt. Do we get... I could take another shop if I want to. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a remove. And because Clumsy is ethereal, I think I'm actually going to leave it in the deck over a strike and just remove a strike, which has very little value for us. Because we're just ending up doing more damage than that in the late game. Let's take another elite fight here. So against this guy, I'm definitely going to use my strength potion, because this is just a pure damage race elite. Oh, I did that backwards. Obviously, I was supposed to play my strike last to get more damage from slow there, so bad ordering against the elite. And then here, this is pretty nice. So I can play 1 card before I play the FTLs in order to trigger at least some slow. So we'll go with Dual Cast, FTL, FTL, drawing 2 cards, and then I can go Strike and Fisticuffs, and turn here. 25 damage incoming, but we actually drew Go for the Eyes this turn. Let's see. So I can hologram something back. What would I want to hologram? I could hologram back an FTL and just replace it. I could hologram back Dual Cast as basically a 2 cost 16 damage attack, if I think that would be most effective. Or I could hologram back Hyper Beam and do a 3 cost 26 damage attack, but that would turn off my lightnings for the rest of the fight. I think we'll just do Go for the Eyes. We'll hologram back Zap here, so I can play that for free. I'll play Lightning Rod, and then I'm going to play Defend. We'll take 6 damage here and get at least some lightning set up. And I also now have Lightning Rod set up where it's going to do even more lightning. We're probably going to do a bunch of attacks this turn, so I'll just start with the FTLs, because I think my plan is going to be to just try to kill it this turn. So there you saw, because I channeled an orb and our rightmost one overflowed off the end, we just got the 8 damage from it, which is a powerful thing about this character. If you can spin your orbs enough, you just have to ponder them appropriately. But we got a very clean fight against the statue, which is not usual. That often does a lot more damage to you. Rainbow lets you channel multiple kinds of orbs, so we can channel Lightning, Frost, and Dark. I like Rainbow well enough, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. And then we'll get an event here. Lose 9 HP, choose a card to transform, lose 50 gold, get 2 random potions in the Whispering Hollow. Making your way through a hollow of dead trees, you happen upon a single bone white tree. Clay baubles hang off its branches, which curve inward like protective ribs. Such a creepy tree. It whispers, "Make exchange." I'm going to transform one of my strikes here, because if we get... There's certainly some cards we could get that would be really strong. Alright, well, I mean, it's a strict upgrade. It's certainly better. The Whispering compels you to give it gold, but you resist and give the tree a big hug instead. It thrashes about, scratching you with its branches, but eventually calms down. The tree-hugging experience transforms you. Make hug? Alright. Let's go fight these guys. So this is a very difficult, like, standard fight room. Can I kill the assassin this turn? Pretty easily. This is where Fisticuffs is coming in handy as well, because I can go Fisticuffs, or I can go Focus Strike, Normal Strike, just kill the assassin, and then I will Fisticuffs the crossbow guy, I guess. I don't remember which of these I typically want to kill first, but the great thing about this is because we have Bag of Marbles, any turn we draw Fisticuffs in the opening turn, we get 10 block off the Fisticuffs. Okay, looks like it was right to kill the crossbow raider here. And then here, we've got Hyper Beam and Strike. Weakness, and we can add a card to our deck. Don't really want any of these. All of these are kind of medium attacks that are basically duplicate all the effects that we already have. I'm going to get greedy and take the 4th Elite Fight here. We could go to a shop and try to remove some more cards. Obviously, that would be pretty good, but a 4th Elite Fight just seems really fun. And then go ahead and throw... Well, we'll do Lightning Rod. I guess we'll get full value out of the Weakness Potion this turn, so I'll throw that in. We'll play a Strike, and then we'll just do a Defend. It's going to do 9 damage this turn, but I can Fisticuffs to block most of that damage. And then, actually I can block all of it if I play the Rainbow. So I will do that. So we're going to Fisticuffs, get 7 block. Rainbow is going to channel 3 orbs, so both of our lightning orbs get evoked for 8 damage each. We have another lightning orb, a frost orb, which gives us 2 block and evokes for 5 block, and a darkness orb, which does damage and gets stronger every turn that you don't evoke it. Or rather, gets stronger every turn that you don't evoke it, and then when you do evoke it, it does damage based on how much strength it's gotten. We'll FTL and FTL. I'll play a Zap, which will get me some block here. And then I could hologram back the Hyper Beam, and that would be 26 damage. Not enough to kill the enemy here. So maybe we just go Defend, Defend, Defend. It takes 6 damage, and then if I can evoke any any orb this turn, then we'll be able to kill it. I did miss on that, but let's go Defend, Defend, and then I guess I will just hologram back the Go for the Eyes. And oh, because I exhausted a card, I drew one from Joss Paper as well. So then we go Zap, channeling the Dark Orb for 18 damage, and then our Lightnings kill it, and we get a super clean Birdonis fight there. Loop. At the start of your turn, trigger the passive ability of your rightmost orb. Draw 3 cards or gain 9 block. I like Loop quite a bit, and this character has a sub-theme of just playing as many powers as you can get, because you have a lot of cards that will trigger off of powers that you play. So just taking powers like Loop is pretty good. Looking at our options here, I could upgrade Fisticuffs. We already talked about that being good. I could upgrade FTL for more damage, and we can play it more frequently. Go for the Eyes is 2 weakness, which is a really nice upgrade on a 0-cost card. Kind of makes it into a discount neutralize from the Silent. Rainbow removes the exhaust, so we could play it over and over again if we want to. And Loop is an extra trigger. I think we're going to go with Go for the Eyes as our upgrade here, because adding 2 weakness to an enemy is a huge advantage. Alright, let's try the boss fight here. So, I'll go Focus Strike, I'll go Lightning Rod, and I guess I will dual cast just to speed up our damage, even though it means we don't have this orb passively damaging the enemy. 18 damage incoming. Let's go with the FTL. FTL again. We keep drawing those in the same turn, which isn't bad, but it is funny. This turn, I could go Defend, Defend, and take 8. Or I could take a little more than that and set up my Rainbow. I think I'm going to do that. So we take 11 damage this turn, but we've got the Rainbow set up, and that means we're going to start triggering our Dark Orb, which is exactly what I want. I'll play Zap, which will get me some block here. We'll play Loop, which will passively trigger our Dark Orb. And then we'll go with Fisticuffs and Defend. This enemy also gets stunned when it goes below 150 health for the first time. So we do have the ability to interrupt it at various points. We'll go with Go for the Eyes. Focused Strike. I'll play the Lightning Rod, and then I guess it's going to... I can stun it this turn if I hologram back... Oh no, I don't have Zap in my discard. So I think I'll just Fisticuffs it. And then it's going to go to 150. We'll take 5. But 5 is an okay amount of damage to take. At the beginning of our turn, we channeled our Darkness Orb, which stunned the enemy here. Let's go... More damage, more damage. Dual cast my orb here. And then I'll go with a Strike and a Defend. Still don't want to use Hyper Beam this turn. Then we can go Zap and Strike. And unfortunately, that shuffle we didn't draw into any other ways to deal damage. This turn, we're suffering the Ringing effect. So I can only play one card. Let's go with Fisticuffs. It'll block the most damage and also deal 7 damage. And I have to say, I wasn't expecting to be as impressed with Fisticuffs as I have been in this run so far. That card has fully, like that and the Hyper Beam have fully carried us through Act 1. So definitely evaluating that card as stronger than I thought it was before. All right, well, I think the correct pick here is Reboot, because drawing 4 cards is incredible for 0, even if you have to shuffle your deck and everything. But I can't resist. I'm going to take Creative AI. This card is so much fun. It just adds a random power to your hand every turn, and you just get to power up over the course of long fights. So we're definitely going to grab that. I think probably at like really high Ascension difficulties, Reboot is going to be the pick here. But Creative AI is just so much fun. And looking at our Act 2 Ancient, we have the Very Hot Cocoa. Start each combat with an extra 4 energy. Love this relic. I think it's ridiculous. I deeply regretted not taking it in my, I think it was the Regent run where I took Golden Compass over it. Add a Brightest Flame to my deck. Gain 2, draw 2 cards, and lose 1 max health. I mean, we have 90 max health, so we could use this pretty aggressively, of course. It's just a very powerful card as well. Or for temporary relics, I think we'll take the Very Hot Cocoa. Extra energy on the first turn is just so powerful for setting up all our powers, especially because we took Creative AI, so being able to drop that while not spending our entire turn on it, if we roll it in the opening hand, is going to be really nice. I've got 300... gold, so I'm tempted to hit this shop. It means I'm not getting any events. We'll do this elite. We can then hit 2 more elites if I want. I could just go for like maximum relics. We can get 4 elites again this run. All right, let's do it. Let's just get as greedy as possible. So incoming, we've got 17 damage, and this is the Thieving Hopper, so it's going to try to steal our stuff. But we can FTL and draw a card. I will Fisticuffs it. I'm going to hologram here and redraw Fisticuffs, I guess, because So what I should have done there maybe is redraw FTL, because I could have replayed that and drawn another card, and we're not going to be able to spend all of our energy this turn. So hologramming back the FTL to make sure that we were spending our energy adequately made a lot of sense as well. I could play Creative AI here. I don't know that I actually need to. It might be better just to play the Rainbow, and then we'll just try to end the fight as fast as possible. Put the enemy down to 16 health here. Coming in for 21 damage, and it's got Flutter, so it's only taking 50% damage from our attacks. So if I hit it with FTL, I could then Hyper Beam, and that would deal 13 damage, and then we can Strike, or Focus Strike, or whatever, and just kill it. Alright, got a Regen Potion, which we really don't need. Take our Loop back, and what have we got here? Alright, we've got Storm. This works really well with Creative AI, because it's going to let us channel a Lightning every time we play a power. I could also just take a third FTL. We've seen how good those are already, but let's start building into the power deck, which is, I think, the most fun way to play this character, at least. What have we got here? We have, the end of your turn, gain a block for each card in your hand. That's going to be pretty powerful overall, though this deck doesn't draw a lot of cards, so it might not be as good as it would be normally. I don't think any of those relics really matter. Another Lightning Rod is pretty good. I'm always going to remove... I think we'll just remove Strike again. We'll leave Clumsy in because it's ethereal still. So I'm not buying a relic this turn. I could buy Cool-Headed. That just helps me cycle through the deck. If you upgrade Cool-Headed, it is a draw 2. So it can be pretty helpful with our Very Hot Cocoa. For 52... I think that's a marginal enough card that I'm not going to buy it for 52. These decisions are also ones that, you know, I might make differently if I was deeper into playing this character. So I can play both of these. I can Hyper Beam for 9 damage to all of these enemies. These enemies take a maximum of 9 damage. That does mean that my orbs will be a lot worse if I Hyper Beam. And I do have a lot of cards that care about orbs, so I think I'm just going to pass the turn here. Take a 1 damage hit. And then here I can go with FTL on this enemy, dropping it down to 6. We won't be able to kill it unless I get lucky with my channels, but I can go for the eyes, one of them. I guess let's go for the eyes, this enemy. I'll play Storm, Loop, and Lightning Rod. Yeah, this fight is kind of rough, because I had such a bad opening draw. Here we'll go with Fisticuffs finishing off this enemy. We'll go FTL on this one, trying to lower its health. I'll play a Zap, I'll play a Focused Strike, and we'll play another Strike. And then if I Rainbow here... that does 27 damage to that enemy, and then it dies to the lightning. Alright, so we took a little bit of damage there. It looks like we took 10. I'll take Charge Battery. I like this card a lot. Having a good blocking card that also lets you defer energy to a future turn is really nice. Here, I'm going to go FTL, FTL, Charge Battery, Dual Cast. I mean, I guess I'll just play everything because we can. Keep drawing Clumsy in my opening hand, unfortunately. What I really want is the Bag of Preparation item that lets you redraw or draw 2 more cards in your opening hand. That's a card we would pick very highly, or a relic we would take very highly. This enemy has 5 thorns, so this is where Fisticuffs is worse than a normal block card, because I only get 2 block out of casting it. Given that I only get 2 block out of casting it, is it better just to play the Rainbow here? Because we get 2 block from the Frost Orb that the Rainbow summons anyways. I do get 7 damage, and I get to play Storm, but I think getting the Rainbow going is actually better. Then we take a hit for 11, so we'll need the Regen Potion sooner than I was hoping we would. We'll go with a Zap, Lightning Rod to block. I'll play Hologram to redraw into... I'm thinking go for the eyes so that I can weaken this enemy. And then play a Loop here. Take a small hit. And this turn, let me just get Creative AI set up. 30 damage from our Dark Orb, and we got Iteration. That doesn't really do anything for us. But I can just end the fight with Hyper Beam here. Oh, I was not paying attention to it having thorns, so I just took 5 extra damage for no reason at all. Obviously, I needed to play a block before I played the Hyper Beam. Alright, I do like Fusion, so this lets us get extra energy by channeling a Plasma Orb. A Plasma Orb gives you 1 energy per turn while you have it channeled, and 2 energy when it gets evoked. So it's really nice. More energy, of course, is very, very powerful, and Fusion gets upgraded to only cost 1 to cast. Boost Away is also pretty good, a 0-cost 9 block card, but let's take the Fusion here. Then we'll try to fight an Elite. I expect that this fight will go 5 turns, so I'm just going to use my regen potion now. This is where we can set up Creative AI because we have the extra energy this turn. And then we'll go Lightning Rod, hologram back the Lightning Rod, play it again, and then I can play a Defend. And we get to take a little bit of damage here, but we've got Lightning Rod set up for 4 turns. I do need a better blocking card. I think that's like the biggest thing that we're missing currently. Subroutine is a pretty nice one. It'll just refund us when we play our powers. And then Hyper Beam I'm not going to play. I am going to use this skill potion because I just need something that gives us a block. Alright, Compact is really good because that's going to turn... Or no, Clumsy is a curse and not a status. So it won't turn that into fuel for us. But at least it blocks 6 more damage. Okay, we got a Creative AI off our Creative AI, so we're going infinite here. Let's look at... How can I defend this turn? Charge Battery, Fisticuffs, and Defend is enough blocking this turn. So... Oh wait, I could have played the loop. I forgot I had subroutine. So the loop was effectively free to play because it's going to refund our energy. Alright, so we play FTL, gain an energy off that, play FTL again. Then I'm going to play Storm, play Spinner, and we regain all of those energies. Let's play Focused Strike, which I should have sequenced before that for slightly more orb damage. Rainbow, channeling all my orbs again, and then dual cast to channel some more, and another strike. And that's the sort of turn that we're really looking to get. Consuming Shadow is summon 2 orbs. So I can play Loop, that's energy neutral. Consuming Shadow costs 1, Creative AI costs 2. I will definitely Fisticuffs here. Though, I actually want to sequence that a little differently. Because this enemy gives you energy when you deal damage to it. We're going to play Consuming Shadow first. Consuming some of these orbs and breaking its block. And then when I play Fisticuffs, we'll get the energy back from the Fisticuffs. Now, unfortunately, although Creative AI is only 2 energy in terms of total cost, I need to spend 3 ahead of time, so I probably could have sequenced it to play it this turn if I wanted to, but I need to play the block anyways. Here, we're going to go with FTL first, and that's card draw and energy positive, thanks to this enemy's unique ability. We'll play Go for the Eyes and reduce incoming damage, and then Zap. And then... Can I charge any of these this turn, or evoke any of these this turn? I cannot, right? So we'll charge Battery. Oh wait, if I play Hailstorm, that evokes an orb because we have our Storm. So that's going to channel a lightning, deal damage to the enemy, and then we can use Hyper Beam to finish the fight. You can see I'm still learning this character for sure. Love Permafrost here. That's going to give us some block while we are setting up our powers. And we'll definitely take another Storm. Try to get those really cycling through. Go here, and I will Smith. Making Creative AI only costs 2, really tempting. Fusion only costing 1, also really tempting. What else could I upgrade for profit? Storm for channeling 2 lightning is not bad. I think I will just reduce the cost of fusion, though. That's going to make it energy positive much more frequently. And then we still just want more relics in this run, because we're just hitting up every elite fight. We'll start with FTL. And then, yeah, we'll go Storm here, and then play Creative AI, so that channels a Lightning. Then I can play Zap, Dual Cast, and Lightning Rod, and get all of those set up. 21 damage incoming. Is there any way that I can trigger my fusion this turn? I can't. If I had Rainbow in hand, then I could play fusion and then Rainbow, and that would roll into the fusion. I could use Gambler's Brew if I'm worried about taking damage. Feral is not a power that I'm super excited to play currently, because it costs 2. It is good with all our 0-cost attacks. I think I might actually save a lot of damage if I Gambler Brew, though, because I can roll into Go for the Eyes. There's a good chance I roll into Rainbow as well for the fusion. It does mean not casting Fisticuffs, or I could save Fisticuffs as well. But I think let's go with the Gambler's Brew, and we'll discard everything except for fusion, draw 5, and see if we draw into something that gives me a few more options here. I will then FTL this enemy. I'll play... What can I play here to maybe evoke fusion? Nothing in particular. It's rough. We're going to take just such a big hit from this enemy here. So let's go fusion. Evoking my orb here. We'll play hologram. And I'll get back lightning rod, I guess. And then we're just going to take a gigantic hit from this enemy, because it reduces your dexterity every time you play a card, and all of our attacks are all of our blocks are sort of small amounts of block, so we, with this character, will often want to play a lot of cards in a turn. Let's start with Go for the Eyes, and then I'm going to play Charge Battery to avoid the dexterity loss as much as possible. Then I'm going to play Rainbow, so that will give me the energy back from playing it, because we're going to channel through our Plasma Orb, going back up to 3 energy. And then I can play Creative AI for more powers. We got Machine Learning here, which is a pretty nice power as well, just helping us draw cards. But to win this fight, what we're going to do is just go Storm, and then that will channel a Lightning, and then we'll play Machine Learning and channel some more damage. Taking that much damage in a normal enemy fight feels pretty bad, though. Do I need Leap? Maybe I do. I'm struggling to just get enough block, but adding random cards to the deck like that just feels so bad, like common level, unupgraded, low-level cards. I think I'll skip on the Leap here. We'll go ahead and roll into the Relic, and when you add a card to your deck, gain 15 gold. That would have been nice to get earlier. I do have all of these healing relics, so we do have that going for us. So I had another game crash. This is actually the first time I've crashed at all in Slay the Spire 2, but I guess something about this run, I'm just running into some issues. Maybe one of the cards is a little bugged. But anyways, I am going to jump into this elite fight. I guess what I need to win this elite fight is just to draw into Hyper Beam, right? If I had it in my opening hand, we almost win on the first turn, but unfortunately no such luck. I think... I'll remind myself what I was doing before the game crashed. We're going to take at least a couple more elite fights. Or at least one more we're guaranteed to take. So let me use a power potion here just to try to conserve my health. And then... which of these do I want? So I could take Bulk Up. It costs me an orb slot, but gives me strength and dexterity. And That's probably going to be the best way to go, because I need to actually block a lot of incoming damage and do a bunch of damage to these enemies. I'm going to hologram something back. What do I want to hologram back? It could be Focus Strike. It could be just a strike. If I play Focus Strike on these enemies, that's 16, 32 damage, and then 41 with... No, and then Strike is 12 more. So I could do 44 damage. So I could kill the middle Decimillipede this turn. It would obviously come back, but I think that's fine. So we're going to go Focus Strike this enemy. We'll hologram back the Focus Strike. Focus Strike it again and play Strike. And then we don't get the debuff that it was going to do. We can then play Lightning Rod, defend, defend. Bunch of incoming damage here. This enemy is going to come back. This one is now debuffing us. What do I want to play this turn? I guess we'll start with go for the eyes. So that's going to weaken this Decimillipede. Rainbow will evoke 3 lightnings and leave us with Dark and Frost. And then I could dual cast one of those if I wanted to with like Zap dual cast. Or I could just play Creative AI, but I think given that I need to either kill one of these enemies or do enough damage or get some block so that we don't just die to the incoming damage here, I'm going to do this. Now, would I rather dual cast the Dark or the Frost? I think I'm playing dual cast for 10 block, and then we'll play a Zap here. Because dual casting Dark would not have killed the 19 health enemy. Alright, so our Dark went off. We can then do damage to this enemy. So I'll play FTL on, I guess, the lowest health one. This turn, I can play Charge Battery, defend, and kind of hope that we get to do some damage with our orbs. This fight's also not going well. I think my deck has not come together great in this run. But here we've got Hyper Beam, so I can go Fisticuffs plus Hyper Beam. Oh, it's only 21 damage because we're weakened currently. Can I block enough incoming damage that the Hyper Beam actually gets kills? Or that we can save our Hyper Beam? Or can I do enough damage that the Hyper Beam kills stuff? So I can definitely do 1 damage to something by playing the Fusion. And I can't quite cycle through all of my powers here to gain more energy from the plasma. So if I play Fusion, we trigger 1 lightning orb, then Fusion is in the leftmost slot. Then I could play Storm and Loop. That will trigger a lightning channel and push Fusion into the rightmost slot, but won't actually trigger it. So I won't be able to play like all of these and then Hyper Beam. So I just have 4 energy to play with this turn. I think we are still going to go Fusion. Okay, we hit this one. That was not the one I wanted to hit. It's actually the exact one I didn't want to hit. But with Hyper Beam and Fisticuffs, I can still drop most of these enemies low. Okay, nice. I drew into the FTL here, and so that will let me win the fight this turn. Whetstone, upgrading Fisticuffs, and actually I didn't see what else it upgraded. Focus Strike, not bad. And then we'll add a card to our deck. Okay, so maybe I do just need a Cool-Headed. This will let me cycle through my deck early. If we draw it in our opening hand, we can draw. And it gives us some block, which this deck is kind of badly in need of currently. If we take too much damage in this fight, I'll go take the shop and then just not take the last elite fight. So this turn, I can go... I want Fusion to be my last card, because I want to have the extra energy next turn. So we just play all of that. And then I can go with an FTL on the Paraphrite, drawing into a card. I can hologram back FTL, or I can hologram back fusion, if I want more energy. Let's just hologram back the FTL, and then we can keep cycling through the deck. Then I can play Rainbow, and that will trigger my Plasma Orb, so we'll get the energy back from the Rainbow here. Go for the Eyes, we can play as well, to weaken the Obscura for 2 turns. And then I'll play Cool-Headed. Alright, we keep hitting the, not the enemy that I want to hit. I could set up the creative AI, but that means I would take some damage this turn if I do that. Because it's going to channel 1 Lightning Orb, and then we'll get 4 Frost. If any of those Lightnings had hit the Paraphrite, those are random, of course, then we would have been able to play creative AI this turn. But I guess we'll just go Focus Strike. Oh wait, where did I get the energy from for that? I thought I only had 3, but I'll play creative AI then. And then we'll FTL that. Smokestack doesn't do very much for us, but this turn we can just go with Fisticuffs. Or I can go... Yeah, I guess I'll go Fisticuffs on that. I'll play Storm here, so we can trigger more Lightning Orbs. We'll play Zap. We'll play Smokestack, because that actually triggers some Lightning Orbs, because we have 2 Storms going now. And then I'll just go with a dual cast, 16 more damage to the enemy. Echo Form, I love this card as well. It does, the first card you play each turn is doubled, which is amazing. This is a really bad shuffle again, though. Our Hyper Beam is 1 damage short of killing the enemy here. And our orbs would then be turned off, because we'd lose all our focus, so they'd be doing 0 damage. Echo Form, I could burn here, and that would channel 2 lightning orbs, but that still won't kill the enemy here. So I think we just have to do triple defend. And we'll take some damage here. And then this turn, let's go with FTL, FTL, chipping away at the actual enemy. And then with Focus Strike, we can kill it. Okay, so this turn, I'm going to go with another Charge Battery, I think. We need more energy, we need more block, so, or rather this reward, so we'll take that. And then with only 19 health, I'm definitely at a little bit of risk here. Let's go with FTL first. Obviously, I want to draw a card, even though that puts a Daze in my deck. And then we'll go Fusion, Charge Battery, Defend, Defend. $18 damage incoming, but I have enough energy that I can play most of these cards. So we'll go Storm, go for the Eyes, weakening this enemy, and now we've only got 13 incoming. I'll play FTL. It does again put a Daze in the deck, but that's okay. And then Creative AI, Cool-Headed, Zap, which gives me some energy, and then we can defend, and we only take 2. We got Buffer, so this will protect me the next time I would lose HP. That's obviously great for what's happening to us right now. So let me just play Loop and Buffer. Yeah, I just need some more defensive cards in the deck here. This turn, Thunder plus Rainbow. How much damage is that? So that's going to be 14 times 3 with the Rainbow if I just evoke all 3 of those lightning orbs. Unfortunately, that doesn't do it. So I could hologram something back. If I hologram back a go for the Eyes, I can weaken the enemy here, and that would reduce the incoming damage by quite a bit. So that's probably going to be the play. So we'll go hologram, go for the Eyes. I'll play Go for the Eyes, weakening this guy, so now it's only doing 21 damage. Then I've got a Charge Battery and a Defend, and we can block most of the incoming damage here. We're just trying to set up for a big combo turn. Let's go with Storm plus... Iteration is just going to be a bunch of extra draw for this character, so we'll go Iteration as well. And Fisticuffs blocking some more incoming damage. Because against this enemy, we're going to be drawing these dazes all the time, so we'll always draw extra cards off the Iteration. And then here, we can play Thunder, evoking some damage, and Thunder, and kill that enemy. Candelabra for extra energy, and we'll add a card here. None of these cards, I think, are particularly good for us. Let's go to the Merchant, and we get a heal. So things are looking a little spooky at this point, honestly, but I think we'll still be fine. Machine Learning, great card for our deck. We want a lot of powers. I love Anchor as well, just starting with some block. Happy Flower, also a really good relic for us. So... And Overclock is a really nice card, just letting us draw cards. So I have a lot of stuff that I want. I think let's definitely get the Anchor. And I will definitely remove another Strike. And then I'll just buy Overclock. And that should give me, hopefully, the card draw that we need. 22 health, I'm not feeling super confident fighting that elite. So we're going to go here. I don't really want to... We got a negative event, unfortunately, which is going to remove cards. I can spend 3 health to try to remove something better than Loop. But I think Loop is in the bottom half of our cards. I would remove any of the Defends. I would remove Hyper Beam over it. I would remove Clumsy over it, obviously, so that's 6 hits. What else would we be happy to take out over it? Honestly, most of these other cards I prefer, so we'll just get rid of the Loop here. And then we're going to go to this campsite and rest, and then we'll take on the Act 2 boss. Here, I can go Charge Battery, I'm playing for sure. Overclock, we're adding a burn to our discard pile, but that's fine. I'll play... Rainbow first, because I want the fusion to be set up for next turn and just be giving us energy next turn. And then Hyper Beam we're not going to play because I don't want to lose focus. So the Hyper Beam, like I said, it was very good in Act 1. Now it's kind of a downside to have it in the deck, but I'm still pretty pleased that we did make the decision that we made. And then I have all this energy I can spend on Frantic Escape. This turn, I can go FTL. I can go for the Eyes. We'll play a Storm. Cool-Headed to redraw a card. What do I want off the hologram? I can get something back from the discard pile, like Fusion, for example. So let's do that. Or I can just play Charge Battery and Fisticuffs and try to avoid taking damage. Maybe that's better. We'll just block the incoming damage this turn. We still have 5 turns before we get eaten by the Insatiable, so I don't need to worry too much about that currently. I'll play Storm here, and that will channel an orb, giving me an energy back. So, +1 energy, because we channeled through our Plasma Orb. We'll play Creative AI, channeling some orbs again. Frantic Escape and Lightning Rod all set up, and I guess we'll dual cast. Enemy incoming for 20 damage this turn, and we don't currently have a bunch of block. But I can go Charge Battery. Consuming Shadow, I do want to play because... it'll cycle through, we've got double Storm, so cycling through our Lightning Orbs is really good. It does mean I am letting the counter tick down and taking a hit this turn, but with Consuming Shadow, I think we can just get some damage set up here. This turn, we've got Fisticuffs and Lightning Rod as our blocking spells, so let's do that. Lightning Rod will play Loop. Actually, I should have played Focus Strike or Dual Cast first, because I would have wanted to double cast my Dark Orb for more damage. And Focus Strike, of course, increases the power of our orbs. So, That was bad sequencing there. So I might need to spend 2 on the Frantic Escape this turn. Defragment gives us a focus. So let's start with Fusion, channeling a Plasma. I'll play Overclock to draw 2 cards. I'll go for the eyes on this enemy. Defragment I can play to get a focus that doesn't channel the Plasma this turn. So I'm going to take the hit because I think I want to play Frantic Escape. And then we take 1 big hit here, and then we should be able to end the game, or end the fight this turn. Let's go with Creative AI, cycling through all of my Plasmas, play some more Lightning Orbs. Alright, we can't end it this turn, but with double Creative AI and double Storm, we should be able to cycle through a bunch of orbs this coming turn. And we got Thunder for more damage, we got Capacitor, cycling through some orbs, and we got Cool-Headed, and we win the fight. A second Creative AI, definitely tempting, but I think I want the Defragment. I think our orbs having more power is going to be more impactful than a second copy of Creative AI for this deck right now. Alright. Whenever you play 2 or fewer cards in a turn, take half damage from enemies. That's pretty interesting. At the start of each combat, fill all empty potion slots with random potions, or enchant all card rewards with Glam, which gives them replay once per combat. So the replaying card rewards is quite good. Obviously, that will make our deck a lot stronger if we can get our cards replayed. I'm also very tempted by the random potions, because I think that'll get us through the floor fights a lot easier. So I'm going to take that, and we'll just use 3 potions in basically every fight. The left, I can go to the shop, and then we can get some camps here, and we can take a couple elite fights. I don't need to particularly prioritize elite fights anymore. My deck has come together not super well, so I mostly want to focus on just getting out of the run intact, which means kind of minimizing the number of fights that we're taking to conserve our HP so we can fight the boss with it. So let's go to the left here. Alright, well, I'll definitely drink that one, and then I'll start with an FTL on the low health enemy. Oh wait, actually... Oh no, it's from my discard pile. If I could get a card from my deck into my hand, I could just get Hyper Beam and win the fight immediately here. Let's Fisticuffs this weakened enemy. We'll play Zap, Storm, and then I've got a bunch of blocks, so I can just play Defend, Defend. I think these are kind of below average potions, so I might keep some potions, even though we have the Delicate Frond, if they're, way better than average and we don't need them for a given fight, but I believe these are kind of below average potions. I'll do FTL there. Okay, and we drew into Hyper Beam, so let's go ahead and use my potions here just to re-roll into different ones, and then we'll end this fight. Energy Potion, that's probably better than the average random potion that we'll get, so I'll take the Energy Potion. Turbo, this is a card that I definitely want. Yes, it puts a status in the discard, but extra energy is so powerful for this deck, as it is for every deck. Go to the Merchant here, and Oddly Smooth Stone is kind of nice. Currently, we are struggling to get enough blocks, so I could pick up Oddly Smooth Stone. I could take another FTL. I could remove a card, so we could remove, one of my basic defends. We also haven't upgraded a lot of cards this run. I think that the Oddly Smooth Stone, as, we've gotten how many relics? 15 relics, and this is our first relic that I would consider to be kind of a top tier relic, other than the boss relics, obviously. Which is kind of funny. Alright, we've got a power potion and a focus potion. I'll definitely use the focus potion, because I think that one's mostly below average. I think I'll use the power potion as well. And then we can get... let's just go with Buffer, just to potentially block some damage, because this guy hits for a lot of damage. And then we'll go Fusion, Zap, Defragment, Buffer, go for the eyes, and Focused Strike. This turn, I will FTL, drawing a card. I can double Charge Battery, and that will prevent all of the incoming damage, so we'll do that. I mean, I guess I'm just going to play out my whole hand again. And now the deck is starting to come together, because we've gotten a few more draw cards and ways to generate extra energy, so things are getting a lot stronger overall. I can take a big hit here, because we have our Buffer, so I'm going to play Creative AI, and then I will dual cast my orbs. Take 0 damage because we have the Buffer. This turn we can turbo, which is pretty nice. So we'll go Storm first. Turbo, shuffling that in. Cool-headed, drawing a card. And then Storm again. Play a Capacitor. Cycling through my orbs here. I can then hologram back a blocking spell or a weakening spell, or I can try to cycle through a bunch of orbs. So let's play hologram. What can I play for 1 that will cycle through the maximum number of orbs? Honestly, we don't have that much. So currently we're doing 24, and then we're doing another 18. So I don't actually need that much. With Zap, we get 24 damage, and then 24 more damage from the lightning orbs. I'm trying to end this fight without taking a hit, though I don't know that that's possible. With Fisticuffs, I can block 9 more damage, and then we block 26 and only take 4. So I guess I'll take that. There may have been a card selection there or a sequencing that I could have done that, again, would have won that without... Oh, was dual cast in the graveyard? Because dual casting the Dark Orb would definitely have done it. Alright, Thunder, we've seen kind of how important this is, so I'm going to take the Thunder here, because that will let me do a lot more damage when we spin through our lightning orbs. I'll definitely use this potion for orb slots. The regen potion, I'm just going to use again as well. Because I probably will not want that. Energy potion I still think is better than average, so I'm going to keep the energy potion. And then we'll go Focus Strike, we'll go Zap, Charge Battery, Defend. The enemy is weakened this turn, but I can go Fusion, Thunder, Rainbow, spinning through some orbs, and we can go Fisticuffs, block all of the incoming damage here. This turn, let's go FTL, Overclock to draw 2 more cards. I don't need to turbo because I'm only playing 2 cards here anyways, so we can pass on the turbo. Enemy is now soaring and takes half damage from my attacks. It also does a lot of damage currently. Let's start with FTL. Drawing a card here. I can hologram something back to weaken it. And play like a charge battery. If I play Storm, that'll cycle through the plasma. Then I can play Cool-Headed and get another Frost in play. I can dual cast this Frost and get 10 block. So let's start with Hologram. And Fisticuffs or Go for the Eyes are what I'm kind of looking at. Guess I'll just take the Go for the Eyes. I think that'll protect me from the most damage, dropping this down to only 24 damage. I'll then play dual cast here, going up to 14 block, 22 block, and defragment. So So we're up to 25 block and don't take any damage here. 18 damage incoming. We did draw our burn, but we can overclock again. And then I can cool-headed. Turbo for more energy. Play the creative AI. Play the charge battery. Defend, defend. Alright, now the deck is coming together. In Act 2 was scary. Act 3 is looking a lot better, because we just got a couple more of the key cards that we needed. And kind of a critical mass of things to help us get through this. Vulnerable Potion is definitely worse than the average random potion, so I'm going to pass on that. And then let's pass on these as well. Channel 1 random orb for 1 is not what I really want to do. I guess I could get the compact, because we've got 2 ways to generate status cards now. We have both the turbo and the overclock. But redrawing into those is so slow, I think we're just going to skip on all of these. Go take an event here. Add Decay to my deck. Enchant a card that exhausts with Soul's Power. So I could enchant... What exhausts in my deck? Rainbow, we can remove the exhaust just by upgrading it. Nothing else that I really care about exhausts. We've got Hologram that exhausts, but I think we'll just take the Forgotten Soul here. Here, we can go with an upgrade, and I can finally start upgrading some of my cards, which has been a real pain point for us. So, Creative AI gets a discount. Storm gets additional lightning channels, which is really nice. Overclock draws 3 cards. Cool-Headed also draws additional cards. I think, given how this deck has played out, I'm actually going to upgrade these Storms. Because channeling 2 lightning, just letting us cycle through our cards faster, is going to be better overall. Alright, Lantern is not that amazing, because we already have the very hot Cocoa, so unless we draw a lot of card draw on the first turn, we just won't be able to spend all our energy. But I guess I'll upgrade Overclock to make it more likely that we can draw into the cards that we need. Got a fight here with the Globe Head. Now, the Globe Head, very annoying for our deck because it makes all of our cards have... all of our powers have galvanized. I don't know why I was stumbling over that so much. Have galvanized, which means we take 6 damage when we play them. So I need to be pretty careful about which powers I play. I'm going to go with Duplicator on the FTL just to draw 2 cards here. And then I'll play another FTL. Rainbow is not a power. In fact, I have no powers in hand right now. So let's start with Cool-Headed. We'll draw a card. I'll play... I can play everything without using Turbo. So let's go Hologram. I'll hologram back the Cool-Headed. Maybe I was supposed to hologram back like Dual Cast or something, but we'll just set up like this. I can play the Storm here if I want to. We're going to take 6, but that won't be enough to break through our block. So I guess I will set that up. Chances are good that we're not going to play a lot of powers to make use of the Storm, but it's better to have it set up than not, of course. Go for the eyes to weaken this enemy, so now we've only got 12 damage incoming, and then we can go play all of our blocks. This turn, I currently don't have much in the way of defenses, so I'm going to play Fusion. So that cycles 5 damage. Now, if I play Storm, I could take a couple hits in order to roll through some powers this turn, because we drew 3 powers. This enemy is always going to do some damage to me, so the question is, how do I minimize that? I think that I'm going to play Defend. I'll play Storm here, rotating through, and we'll play Thunder, and then I'm going to play the Creative AI, and I'll take 6 damage, but I believe this will kill the enemy this turn. So we took only 3. Oh, actually, I was expecting to take 6 there, but I guess the galvanized damage didn't go off because we killed it. Fortifier potion, is that better than an average potion? I'm thinking not, so I'm going to discard it. And then none of these are that exciting to me right now. Apply 3 weak, actually, with the null isn't terrible. It just costs, it's very expensive, but weakening some of the elites could be really important. So let's, Nah, I still just don't want to fill my deck with garbage. The Trial. You join a line of people entering a massive building. As you pass under a golden archway, horns blare, confetti explodes, and streamers glide down from the ceiling. Entrant 823, you are the decider for today's trial. Serve as today's decider, you are not allowed to reject. Alright, well, what happens if I reject? You cannot refuse, shouts the Grand Arbiter of the Courts. Those who reject this privilege are penalized with death. Do you still defy? Give in or face lethal repercussions. Okay, if this ends the run right away, I will just laugh. That will be very funny, and I'll definitely still post the video. So, we're gonna click this and see what happens. Abandoning the game will result in a loss. Okay, we won't abandon, but that is really funny. You sit in the chair of decision-making and the trial begins. A powerful noble steps forward. You find a note in your pocket indicating that if you decide innocence, you'll be handsomely rewarded. The noble barely argues against the corruption charges and gives you a knowing smirk. You can't stop corruption, but you can pocket some gold. The crowd bellows, "Decide! Decide! Decide!" So I can decide guilty and heal, or I can add regret to my deck and get 300 gold. Well, we don't have a shop for the rest of the run, so we are sentencing the corrupt noble for his guilt. It is decided. The powerful noble was beheaded. One less corrupt noble. Alright, well, it's funny that we don't come away from that with any regrets. Let's go ahead and throw our weakness potion. I'll overclock and draw 3 cards here. I could hologram back the overclock, so I think I will do that. Draw 3 more cards, because on our first turn, we want to play as much stuff as possible. So if we get, like, overclock, hologram, overclock, stuff like that, we're definitely going to play it. Storm here. I need to be able to block just a little more damage, but I think we've got plenty. So we'll go with Defragment, Creative AI, rolling through our storm charges, and then I will play a charged battery for more energy next turn, and lightning rod to cycle through more stuff. $13 damage incoming. We'll start with an FTL and draw a card here. Then I'll play the Thunder. And Echo Form, I think I can play as well. I will play Turbo for sure, because I want to play all of the rest of the cards in my hand here. We'll play Rainbow, cycling through a bunch more orbs. I'll play Fisticuffs, and we'll play Defend. And this is what the deck should look like at this point, is just rolling through all these orbs and blowing everything up. We'll start with an FTL here. We'll play Storm. Bulk Up will cost me an orb slot, but will also help me just cycle through orbs anyways, so I can just play that and kill the enemy. We keep getting these max HP upgrades. Alright. I don't care about any of those cards, so we're going to skip, go to an event. The event was a fight, unfortunate. Radiant Tincture is better than average. Do I need both it and Energy Potion, though? Probably not. I'm going to use the Fortifier Potion as well. And then I'll start with an FTL here, and another one. Then we're just playing everything. And I'll decide which of these potions or both of them I want to take into the elite fight, probably at the end of this fight. We'll go with Storm, Defragment, upgrade our orbs here, and then we can go a couple charge batteries, and Cool-Headed or Defend, I guess. Okay, so I did make a mistake using the Fortifier. I didn't need it turn 1. I think what we're going to do here is we will play our Energy Potion so that I can draw with Cool-Headed and cycle through my cards a little more, try to block a little bit of this damage. Getting a little sloppy with those free potions there. So this enemy, it's at 45 health. Let's start with Overclock, and we'll draw a bunch of cards. Then I will play Storm, so we can cycle through channeling more lightnings. We'll play Creative AI, cycling through channeling more lightnings. I'll Focus Strike the Fabricator, and then I'll play Hyper Beam to end the fight. Another hologram would let me cycle through turbos and overclocks more, so I guess I'll take another hologram. And then we'll go here, and we'll do an upgrade. I could upgrade Thunder, I could upgrade Defragment, that is just extra damage on all my orbs, which is pretty good. What else would I consider upgrading? The second Storm is a good upgrade. I don't really need to upgrade Creative AI, we just have a lot of energy, so I haven't really needed to discount it. So I think it's between Storm or Defragment as to which I upgrade here. And I think I'll just upgrade the Storm. We just want to cycle through the maximum number of orbs every time we play a power. And then we'll go into this next fight. All right, well, we spent a bunch of time thinking about which potion to bring, and it ended up with both of the same potions anyways. Let's start with Cool-Headed. I want to draw a card. And we'll go with my 2 powers here. Play a bunch of cards. Take that damage, and then I've got 5 energy this turn. So let's start with a Fusion. Creative AI. Yeah, and I'm going to use my Radiant Tincture this turn, so I can play double charge battery and block at least some of this damage. I don't really need to play the dual cast. And then here, we can play... let's see, I don't have any of my free cards in the bin for the holograms, so kind of a bad shuffle there. I could play Turbo, but I don't have any card draw. I guess I've got the Cool-Headed. Actually, Cool-Headed is maybe the card I should have upgraded at the last rest site for drawing more cards. Let's use my Speed Potion, I think, because I'm going to need it to avoid taking damage this turn. We'll grab Cool-Headed and cycle that in. And then I will play another hologram. Grab Cool-Headed again and cycle through it again. And then I'll play Lightning Rod and I guess the Thunder. Really just need to draw into these Storms and Creative AIs, which of course were on the bottom. Or I guess I've got the Creative AI, but my Storms were on the bottom. And then I don't need to play anything else. So this turn, I can now play all these Storms, which is exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to play Storm, Storm, Machine Learning, draw an additional card at the start of my turn here. And now we're cycling through some damage. Although I should have played the FTLs first and drawn more cards. Obviously, that was an error. So we killed the door, and the Door Maker appears. And then this turn, I can go with Zap, cycling through my Lightning Orbs. I'll play Hailstorm just to cycle. I'm going to play the Fusion, and we'll play Overclock. Go for the eyes, weakening this guy, and Charge Battery to get some blocking done. I guess I'll use my Energy Potion over casting Turbo, to cast all of these defends, because I don't really want to junk up my deck with the Void from the Turbo. Trash to Treasure, whenever you create a channel, status card channel 1 random orb, that's pretty nice. But let's actually do the correct sequencing and start with the FTLs this time. Now we'll play the Trash to Treasure. Then I'll play a Rainbow here. So now when I draw into Overclock, we can actually channel orbs from it as well. I'll dual cast my Lightning Orbs, and then play another Lightning Rod, play Charge Battery, play Defend. We'll take a little bit of damage here. The Doormaker will run away and turn back into a door. Defragment, a nice one to draw, of course. Powering up all my orbs a little bit more. We'll play Overclock. And Focus Strike I should have played first. This character has so much sequencing, it's really hard to keep track of what I'm supposed to do at any given time. Like in what order. The sequence in which you play your cards is so much more important, I think, for the Defect than for any of the other characters. So it's definitely like a consistent mistake that I make playing this character, is not thinking about my card sequencing enough. We'll dual cast, we'll play Lightning Rod, and if I Hyper Beam, we lose 3 focus and still do 4 damage. So with our lightnings, so that'll do it. And we got there with the Defect. Not the cleanest run, honestly, but you know, it's a win's a win. So random garbled lines. Fix you, fix your friend, ridiculous. Proceed. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what people suggest I should have done differently in this run to make it a smoother experience. I do think we got pretty unlucky with our relics, especially in the first act. We got like a bunch of healing and max HP relics that don't really do anything. And we invested pretty heavily in killing early elites with a lot of cards in our deck that didn't do much outside of that. And then that's what made us weaker in Act 2. So the strategy that I chose, we did, I think, low roll in terms of the results from it. But also I combined that with a lot of, card selection errors, probably pathing errors, and sequencing errors in fights. So very interested in everyone's advice as to how they'd have played it differently so that we could make it a little smoother. Though, obviously, we got there, we won the game, and that's what matters in the end. As always, of course, if you have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a comment and hit the like button. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Slay the Spire 2, which I've been having just a blast with. And other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.